better have your bag ready.
Right.
And they have a jump bag ready in case you break. And I was like, ooh. If you want to fly, Ramstein is where you should come. You know,
The hub.
The hub.
The hub.
What they call it, the global gateway.
For real.
Literally. Like, go where you're celebrated and not where you're tolerated.
Hello guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Jalyn Smith and I have a special guest today. I'm going to let her introduce herself. She is one of my friends that I met a year ago and we just hit it off like from the get-go. So everybody meet Alexandria.
Hello, Alexandria Covington. I have a YouTube channel as well, Kickin with Cub, so follow me there.
Yeah,
Same on Instagram. Nice to meet y'all. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, so she's from the South too. You're from
North Carolina.
I'm from Georgia. And her job is Aeromedical Evac. So what does AE stand for?
AE stands for Aeromedical Evacuation. So in layman's term, we're medical Uber for the military. In complex terms, we evacuate patients, dependents, DOD-wide from one location to another location.
So what type of aircraft do you usually fly on? Because I know you fly with like C-130s, but what other aircraft can you go on?
So we have a few airframes that we are universally qualified on. The KC-135 for our location, Ramstein, C-21.
Okay.
The 130, of course, C-130. And I'm missing one. 130, C-21, KC-135s. And then you can get qualified on the KC-46.
Okay, so do they...
And C-17, sorry. How can I do it? C-17s.
I know.
I'm missing one. So we recently don't fly the Reach mission anymore, and the Reach mission is the mission we fly from Germany to.
Oh, really? Okay.
We don't fly it. The 86 is a flight right now.
Okay.
So I forgot about the airframe because we don't fly it.
Okay. How did you even discover this AFSC?
So back when I was like an A1C, I worked in the hospital, and I met some people in readiness. And they were prior AE, and they were talking about how good it was and how like great it was. They traveled, and then at Keesler they had this program called Pathway to Blues, and it's like geared towards like JRTC students for them to kind of see like what the military is, different jobs. But they opened it 1 year to like enlisted, like junior enlisted troops. So I went and I was able to kind of like see like different jobs, and they had an AE crew there. So I was like, okay, like AE again, you know. And then I went to Korea, and my supervisor there just came back to the med group from AE, and once again, she's talking about how great it was, all the travel, plane breaking, getting stuck in these cool locations. I was like, you know what? I'm tired of the med group. Let me take a break. Let me take a break and see what this AE is about. So I applied from Korea. My chief nurse was getting ready to go back to AE too, so she pushed for me to get my package approved, and it was wrapped since then.
So being AE, what is your favorite part of your job?
It's kind of two parts. Like, so the superficial part of my favorite part of the job is like not being in that group. But I like diversity, so like, I like doing different things. Like, I can't really see myself in a job that like just sit behind the desk all the time.
Same, yeah.
Like, I need to be out, be active. I love traveling, like I love it.
Yeah, I'd be out. Yeah, I'd be everywhere.
Yeah. Even like in the hospital, like my last assignment at Keesler, whenever I left my job, I'm like, okay, I know my job, I'm good at it. Like, what else can I do?
Yeah.
I would kind of like just walk around the hospital with a blue folder in my hand. This seemed like I was doing something important. To make it seem like I was doing something important, so like people wouldn't bother me. But like that's just me. Like I like to like help people out. To kind of travel and like just like see different things. So like it wasn't like me doing anything malicious. It's just like, okay, my work's done. Let me just go see my friends or like go see what the section's doing. But with AE in particular, I love the fact that we get to travel to new locations. I say all the time, like I get paid to go see places that people pay to go see.
Exactly.
So like I think that's pretty cool. And then I also just like not just the travel piece of it. I love helping people out in general. So like the fact that like we get to take people who are sick, hurt, injured from like one location to the next, I think it's pretty cool. Like even whenever I was deployed, we move people. So it's kind of like crazy in a way to see like our reach as far as like the Air Force.
Yeah.
Like we'll come get you no matter where you are. So
Literally,
I think that's cool.
Yeah. You've been doing this for like 9? How many years have you been doing?
I've been doing AE for 3 years.
3 years. Oh, okay. Nice.
But I've been in military for 9. Coming up on 9. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So, what are some of the challenges that you've had along your journey?
I think challenges are that I face personally is sometimes feeling like what am I doing? Like, do I deserve to be here? Or like not deserve to be here, but like you look around and you kind of see like how the dynamics are, and you're like, man, like how can I fit in? Or like, am I good enough to be here per se? Like you know you are in your mind, but like when you see yourself with other people and like how long they've been flying, or like if they catch things easier than you, you're like, dang, like am I slow or like am I just not getting it? But for me, it's like terminology. Not saying the front of the aircraft, the forward of the aircraft, aft, you know, like just different terminology that kind of like hicks me up, kind of like gets me like, so for me, it's just like, I think like when I get something, I get it. But I think that sometimes like the military, especially for training, like they kind of like fire hose train you, where like, they want you to get it quickly because you have to kind of like go to the force to do the job. Yeah. So for me, it's just like, you know, like, hey, like I might need you to say it 3 times, so I could, you know, get it in my head. So for me, a challenge is just, you know, like understanding that like I'm capable, I'm able to do it, and just like giving myself that like, you got this, girl. Yeah. Bitch, you know, just that, like, you know, you're doing a good job, and like just like looking at where I came and like where I'm at now. Yeah. So kind of give myself that reminder of like, you came this far, like, you know, you could do that in tech school, but you passed tech school. And now you're here, so like, just, you know, like, you got this. Nice. Yeah. All right.
Speaking of tech school, can you explain like your training requirements and like your tech school journey, or your training journey? Okay.
So as 4Ns, even though we're AE, we're still 4Ns, which is medical, aeromedical technicians, aeromedical. So we work in a hospital, like in any location. So that tech school, when I went, was like about 6 to 8 months long. So you have a course like tech school where you have phase 1, where you do like your book training, your tests, different levels of testing. Then you have like your NREMT, which is your national registry, for us to like actually hold a licensure to practice being medics. So it's kind of like a EMT. So it's like a step below paramedic, but it's just like an entry level emergency medical technician certification. So then from there you go to phase 2. And phase 2 are in different locations. The phase 2 I went to was in Langley, Virginia. And I think we did that for like 2 months, and that's just like your clinical training. So then fast forward, you work in the hospital for a little while, and it could be different now. I've heard some things change. I'm a little bit, you know, seasoned in my military. So I've been out of tech school for a while, but I worked in the hospital for, I want to say like 4 years. 4 or 5 years, no, 4 years before I put my application in to do AE. So whenever you want to do AE, just let your functional know you're interested. Let your leadership know. They'll like try to get you in the right path. There's a package you complete, and a part of the package is you have to put in like a request for a flight physical to make sure you can actually fly. You're physically able to fly. So then you get like initial flight physical. They like do all this crazy stuff to you, like where they scoop and make you squat, bend, and all the things. They dilate your eyes, make sure you can see. And then after that gets approved, the process is like, you know, you see your package and you make sure that you're good to go. And whoever in the AE God's clouds pick your package out of all the packages. And they're like, yeah, you come on, like we think you're worthy.
That's cool. That's cool.
And so then you go to FNAT, which is, you go to, FNAT, which is like the first, like step 1 of flight school, where you learn like book knowledge, make sure you know your BLS, like you go over the basics for like, just like learning what AE is. And then after you pass that, you go to FTU, which is like the flight training.
Yeah, we have FTUs.
Okay, cool. Yeah. And I don't really know how long it was because I was in that phase again, like, man, I'm about to go back to the mag group, like, I don't get this information, like, so it's just like, ooh. So it's kind of a blur, but it's in Ohio. So
Yeah.
and then like from there you have like two paths. Like either you do SEER water survival before that, or you do SEER water survival after FTD.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like in total, how long was your training?
Mine's a little different because they didn't have dates available, so I had to go back to Korea, out process, and then come back. So I had to like gather in my mental mind, do some math. I want to say like sum it up, maybe it could have been like 4 months, maybe less.
In total?
I want to
with SEER?
I want to say like less. I want to say SEER's like maybe like what 5 or 6 days. Then workshop was 2. FTD might have been like a month and a half.
Okay.
And then like F and AT was like I don't know, like a month or maybe like 10 days. Okay. So it's like a little less than like 2 months, or like 2 months, a little less than 3 months.
Yes, yeah. Same situation. Like I could have got through my training quicker, but due to like the pipeline being backed up and waiting on courses, like it took forever. Was it difficult? Like was the training difficult?
I wouldn't say difficult. I would say challenging for sure. Just the verbiage and like like it's very important because we're dealing with not only patients, people's lives, but also the aircraft, which costs lots of money. So it's like you don't want to be like, oh, AE broke this again, or AE did this crazy thing again. So it has its own set of challenges. Like I said, that confidence piece, like if it's something you're not used to doing, or like if you haven't been exposed to aircrafts other than like flying, you really don't know, but it does open your mind up. And just like having the right instructor helps out at the schoolhouse. You have instructors kind of like anal, you're like, bro, like, come on, like, really? So having the right instructors help out a lot. And then just kind of being open-minded and like trying to like get the information, Study groups help me out a lot because it's like, listen, tell me that again for the 8th time, So it wasn't difficult. It was just different.
Gotcha. Becoming AE, is this your first base with AE? So how has it been like in Germany as AE compared to other places you've been?
I can't speak to any other place, but I can say that I've seen my squadron go from like a real interesting place to like a place where I feel like people are like flourishing now. And I think like environments matter. So like I know back in the day when I first was a new flyer at AE, I wasn't really like, I didn't know anything. I was just like, listen, I'm trying to make sure that I don't forget none of my no-goes, trying to make sure like that I don't mess anything up on this flight, they like shoot my ass out, it's like trying to make sure everything's right. So like I kind of was just like focused on like my little lane, Yeah. It's just one of those things where like I've seen our squadron kind of go from like dry to like just doing trainers because our mission wasn't like that active. Then NEO happened with the Afghans, and like we became like the hub for like between here and the States. So we became busy, and then what we have currently going on now, we're busy. So I'm like, if you want to fly, Ramstein is where you should come.
The hub.
What they call it, the global gateway.
For
literally.
Yeah. We are busy. Yeah. Busy and occupied. Okay.
Yeah. So it's kind of interesting to see from like being dry trainers, just like, oh, everyone flies the same trainers, to just like people are out the door, Like when you sit alert now, like it's a 75% chance you're gonna get alert that second day. So those that sit alert and just like having 2-3 days to just get your nails done or like take a nap, like no, you better have your bag ready, and then have a jump bag ready in case you break, because you're gonna be staying the night in France if you break, or whatever. So
like we said before, Ramstein is the central hub. But where else can you be stationed at? As AE, do you have a big variety of places you can go, or is it sort of smaller? So
I want to say, don't quote me, but I'll fact check myself and text you information.
Okay.
But I want to say there's 31 AE units in the whole force.
Okay.
Only 4 active duty, so the rest are guard reserve.
Okay.
So the 4 active duties you have is Ramstein, Germany.
Okay.
You have Kadena in Japan.
Nice.
There was Pope in North Carolina, but they relocated to Travis in California.
Nice.
And then you have Scott in Ohio.
Okay.
So those are the 4 places that you can potentially go. as active duty AE, which is like,
So how long are your work days? I know, sort of like loadmasters, we have like office work days and flying. So what is the difference with that?
So in AE, at our squadron, you have like different places you could work. Like you have training flight, you have ops support, readiness, CSS, different places. Mission management, ops never stop. So like you work in ops, what's the office hours? What's the duty day? Like if there's a mission that goes out, you go. And I've been fortunate enough to work like ops. And with the last position I worked, which was L&O, which was like liaison between our squadron and outside squadrons, my day started at 7, and it depended on like what I had going on that day to kind of determine like when it would end. So I had to kind of like get up in the morning, update /leadership, tune into the 8 o'clock dial-in, and just roll from there. Whether it's coming to your squadron to kind of see about trainers or going to the 76 to kind of see like what we have going on. It's just kind of the face and voice of our squadron to other squadrons and agencies. So yeah, like the due date ends when work is done,
For real.
Yeah.
All right. So I know, like, I'm busy. So do y'all travel a lot too? Like, do y'all travel like crazy, or is it?
It all depends. It all depends. I almost bust my F900, so that's why I had to fly this week. They're like, we're not flying you. I don't know. So it all depends. Like, we have some people that sit alert, and like, by golly, like every time like a mission drops, like they are flying, they're going somewhere. And then we have some months where it's like kind of slow, and then of course like the holidays happen, so like it's unless it's like an actual live mission, like it's not that much trainers going on over the holidays. So it all depends. Like I can say within the last year, so I've got back from deployment in February last year. So within this last year, I can say that like we've been on the road.
It just comes in waves. Like COVID, like we weren't flying as much, but after, like it's like nonstop. Like I was flying like almost 50 hours something of a month. Like it's crazy. But it just comes and goes. It depends on like the mission or what we have going on. So, what is one of the coolest missions that you've been a part of, or like places that you've been to?
I would say the recent one as far as cool places that I went to. So the Isle of Man. Never heard of it.
I've never heard of it.
Yeah, even whenever the pilots looked it up on like Wikipedia or whatever, I was like, oh, okay, there's places like this that exist. It's like it's literally an island, excuse me, in between I want to say the UK and Ireland.
Okay.
So like it was pretty cool to like see what it was. So like as far as location wise, I would say that one. But that's a trainer, so like ooh. But the coolest mission I think I've flown was we flew a reach mission back to the United States. We had to go to I want to say the UK on a C-17 to pick up a patient, and like we had CCAT on board. So CCAT is for like our like real critical patients that like our own vents or like have like complex medical care or need. But he was a younger airman, and he had a rollover accident. So I guess like the Humvee car rolled over, and they wanted to fly him back to the States to like let him live out his final like hours, minutes, whatever. So like for me, it was just like that's the way to mission. Like you never know like like when you're getting up, who you're gonna get, who you're gonna transport. So for me, like that like was like dang, like as far as like personal missions, like no matter where you are, like literally the Air Force, the military will come to get you to bring you back to the U.S. soil. So that was like left to me, and that's kind of like like dang, like this is like the seriousness of what we do. And
how are you strong like in these situations?
So you don't necessarily have to be strong, but you have to be a strong link for your team. So like you don't have to necessarily like have the strength to like do the whole thing, but just know like your limits, know like what tugs on your heartstrings, what you can and can't do, and also like be able to rely on your teammates to be like, okay, listen, just kind of get me a little bit, can I tap you in, or vice versa. But usually when we fly a CCAT or like the neo team is usually we're supportive for them. Like they do the care, we like support, integrate them with the aircraft. They need help like plugging in, getting their equipment together, and just like helping them out.
Okay. So. How often do you guys train, and what do you guys have to do to stay current?
So we have trainer flights scheduled monthly. It just like depends. Like with the 76, the C-21s, we fly with them once a week, and like we have our annual. It used to be semi-annual, but now it's like our annual codes that they get. So just like different medical emergencies, like if someone were to go unresponsive on the aircraft, what we do. If we have to like place a Foley for someone who can't like really urinate properly, like what would we do? So like we train to like the worst case scenario. So if it happens, we're like able to respond. And then the unique thing about our unit is we have a sim lab, which like I had a really tired sim lab one time. It's super cool. So it's like being on the inside of an aircraft with like the airline seats and everything like that. So like we have mannequins, like high fidelity mannequins that like kind of respond, blink their eyes, and like do crazy things. So like if you don't respond accordingly, like the mannequin will die or like go bad. And like usually our crews are like if we fly a regular crew, is 2 nurses and 3 technicians. And if we're flying a short crew, it might be depending on like what the requirements be, like 1 nurse, 2 technicians. So you're always gonna have someone that has like experience, whether that's like in the hospital, that worked like ER, like or that worked like OB, like different nursing, like different clinical experience. So like if you like have never worked with children before, you have a pediatric patient, you're like, other than what my EFB tells me, like, so you might ask someone like, hey, I did peds, I understand, So we train to like the higher standard, like if all hell breaks loose, what will you do? And I can say I have been on a flight in my 3 years flying that like a situation that happened, like in the trainers happened. So like I'm like, okay, cool, like so this is the worst that could happen. What would I do?
Yeah, that's nice.
Most of the flights are just usually we are medical flight attendants. Just like these are your exits. Put your oxygen on first. Put your hood, the oxygen. Don't inflate your LPU until you jump out of the aircraft. Like that stuff. So.
As loadmasters, we have like evaluations, check runs, like every year. Is that the same in AE?
We mirror you guys, so you go on phase at a certain point, and then you can be like no notice.
I've gotten no notice like a few months ago.
Really? How was that?
It wasn't bad because I sort of knew.
Okay.
Because I don't know, I feel like you can feel it, but sometimes it's like...
You can feel it?
Yeah.
Well, let me get those powers. I think I come in phase in February. I'm like, ooh.
Yeah, I'm in phase right now.
Okay.
So, yeah, it's the same. What is your work community like?
So when I first got here, there's a lot going on in my squad. There's a lot going on. And I was like, ooh. I have my friends and I have my coworkers, but I also I had a little bit of college and work experience before joining the military, and I was always like that, like work is work, personal is personal.
Yeah, that's how I am.
Yeah, no offense to nobody, like this is me, and this is the work me, and this is like Juanita from Raleigh, like. So I think it has been like up until like 2 years ago where I had some like situations happen, like we're losing loved ones and like losing family or losing friends. That I like, it's okay to have like a few people that you can like really rock with your squadron, So it's different being overseas for sure. All you have is what you have, when you're overseas. So like it matters to have a community. But like there were like a few people that I found like in my squadron, like man, like you're not with the drama, like you make a job, you're cool as far as a person. So like I kind of like cling to those people and like. Even just like looking at their work ethic, like if you have a good work ethic, I can rock with you outside of work. If you lazy at work, where you get paid to work, you probably gonna be lazy in real life. So I can't really rock with you like that. So for me, it's just like being selective, I guess.
Okay.
But like within this past year, like since I came back from deployment, and we have new leadership, and just like just seeing the dynamics of the squadron change. I feel like I could open up being more of me. So like I'm doing more party planning now. I'm doing like more events. I'm kind of going around to people now, like, hey, how's it going? Like, what you up to? Just like kind of kicking it.
Yeah. Literally, we're the same.
Yeah. So like it makes a difference. Like when you have like like people that you feel like have your back or like have like your best interest with no ulterior motives. You know?
Right. Yeah. Because I didn't start taking initiative until like last year. Like I organized an all-female flight.
Oh
like,
yeah.
Stuff like that. But it's just like being able to approach people and feeling like
they're receptive.
Like they can.
Yeah. There's a quote that I love. I think it's from E.T. Have you heard of like Eric Thomas?
Yeah.
He's like, go where you're celebrated and not where you're tolerated. And like sometimes in the military we can't control where we go, but we can control how much of us we give. And I've learned that balance. Like sometimes you can't, like sometimes you might be in an environment where you can tell like, if you do this, they're like gonna shut it down. So like, okay, I'm gonna reserve this half to like, where it's appreciated. But
like strategic.
It matters though.
For real.
It definitely matters. So for me, that's how I kind of operate. I have a few people in my squad where I know like, hey, I need your help. And I know they'll come, just like that. And I'll do the same for them. So I think it's like a balance between being that and giving that,
Nice.
Yeah.
All right. So how has Germany been? Like, I know you like to travel. You love to travel. So where have you traveled to since you've been out here?
Ooh. We have to do like a little map pop up.
Yeah,
like, okay, so it's crazy because you can probably attest to this. Like when you're working, you travel to all these places, but you don't really get to visit.
Exactly.
Unless you get broke. Yeah. Unless the plane breaks.
Yeah.
So personal travels, I've been to the UK. So London, Swindon.
Love London.
Oh yes. Oh my! If I could go vacation in the UK, I would.
For real.
Or go live for a little while. Yeah. It's like being in Europe, but still having that and you don't have to translate anything.
Right.
And it's like kind of like
easier.
It's like the States.
I call it like a little American.
Yeah. Like the States, but in the UK, like in Europe.
I love the fashion too.
Yeah. So have you been to Italy?
Yes.
What do you think about Italy?
I like Italy.
Yeah.
I've only been to Venice and Aviano, but it's okay. Like, what about you? Like, have you been to?
My mom, she came to visit me.
Okay.
So we did a little tour. So we took a train to Switzerland, down to
Switzerland
Milan.
is nice.
Yeah, I went away to Switzerland. So yeah, Switzerland, Milan, Italy. We went to Rome. We're gonna do. Did we go to Venice? I think we're gonna do Florence and then Rome and then fly to Paris. So I've been to Paris, London.
What do you think about Paris?
I think it's. I want to say it lightly. I think it's overrated. So like, of course, people go. There's some great food there. I think that people go there just like, oh, Paris, and they expect to see like the glitz and the glam, like the spaghetti Italian dinner, So, but I'm not speaking for I went for a purpose. Like I went to relax one time and just to kind of get away. So I really didn't explore like I really wanted to. And then I went the second time to get my mom from the airport, and she was jet lagged, so we couldn't really explore. So I'm saying that without exploring Paris.
Okay. Yeah.
They had this one soul food place that's pretty good. It's like a neo soul food, like an Afro soul food place.
Okay.
Pretty good.
I'm gonna have to talk to you about that.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, I think Paris is nice. But once you see the main attractions, like the Eiffel Tower, and it's okay.
It's open to
visit. And even with the Eiffel Tower, I looked and it's not what you
the hype is.
Yeah.
Did you go at night or did you go?
I went both.
Okay.
At night it's better.
Okay.
It's so pretty at night.
Okay.
Yeah.
My mom was asleep. I was like, let's go. And then whenever she wanted to go, I was tired. So I was like, oh, we can't. So I could not really enjoy Paris.
Yeah, but Paris is good. The food is good. The fashion is good, but
does it have its own swag about it?
No, it's not what I thought. Yeah.
I got you. So yeah, so Paris, the UK, London, Swindon, Bristol, Switzerland.
Yeah, Switzerland is beautiful. I think everybody should go. Yeah. It's so breathtaking. Have you been to Austria?
No, so that's where I want to go. So
yeah,
I heard Prague was good. Well, Austria.
I want to go to Prague too.
Okay, so I have a list, and with me being my last year here, I feel like everyone on their last year here, they try to stuff all the travel in. Yeah, so that's for that, and then for travel for work, been to everywhere, Spain, Qatar, of course,
lodges.
Yeah. I actually applied. Oh, are you on a trainer in February for lodges or no?
No, because I'll be in.
Okay. Well, you have better things to do. So.
I know, but when they come up, I'm like, I want to schedule it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I scheduled myself on that one for February, so.
It's so nice. Yeah. So a lot of traveling. If you ever get stationed out here, please travel.
Yeah. And it's so easy. Like I think on Ryanair, you get like tickets for like $20.
It's cheap.
Yeah.
All right. So we're bringing it to a close. What words of advice would you have for people considering your career field and any other information?
I would say go for it. Like, in my personal opinion, I had a conversation with somebody else. Like, I worked same-day surgery when I was in the hospital, which is like outpatient surgery where you prep people for surgery and recover them. Then I did anesthesia, two of the best jobs in the hospital, like hands down. Shout out to anesthesia, shout out to same surgery. Best jobs ever. PACU, ASU, love you guys. That's where I was developed as an airman.
Okay.
Then I moved to immunizations, allergy. It was okay. The team, like I said, makes up the whole experience. Second best.
Okay.
And then ambulance services, so I kind of like progressed. But I say like, as far as like medical jobs in the military, AE hands down is the best. I say that if you're considering doing it, go for it. I wanted to do it when I was at A1C, and I kind of like, oh no, kind of backed out. Then the opportunity came up again, senior airman. I'm like, oh no, back out. And I think time is everything, of course. So I feel like for me, like there's different things that like maybe like life needed me to go through in order to appreciate where I'm at now.
Yeah.
But if I could have said anything to me like back in the day, it would have been like at a senior airman point, go for it.
Yeah.
Because it's one of those things where like it's a very rewarding career, and like you hear all the time, people fly AE like a worst day in AE is better than a great day in the hospital, and it sounds like that, but it's so true because like I feel like that the hospital is like same old routine, you know, same old. AE, our standards are the same, you know, like our regs are the same, but each situation could present something different. And you have to look at like how would you handle it per the situation. Still a million regs, but like it's not like the same old. So I would say go for it. Any words of advice, just go for it. You know.
Right.
If you want more information, talk to your foreign functional. I would try to post a video of like what I do, so you can further into my video, and vice versa. But I would have met a person like you if I would have did AE, and you're super dope. So I'm glad I went just like to meet the people I meet in my life and meet you. You know. Thanks for having me.
Yes, thank you for coming. Okay, last question, what is your favorite plane to work on? And it better be seen.
Ooh, the Dirty 130 is my favorite plane because we can land anywhere.
She's lying. She is lying.
No, the 130 can handle about like anything.
Do you get not seasick motions?
No, like I want to like actually fly on you guys' plane more often when you guys do tacticals, because like at one point they're like, oh, you guys are gonna get up in the morning, load the aircraft, they're gonna take off their tacticals, come and get you guys. I'm like, in the real world, that would not happen. In the real world, if we have to go somewhere and something were to happen, we'll route with you guys the whole time.
Yeah.
Going through tactical stuff, strap in, have your bottle bag beside you, have your little alcohol wipe, you know, throw your head back and just keep on moving. So like, I feel like that I would like for us to actually do more flights with you guys where it's like tactical.
Yeah.
But of course you have people that complain about stuff and like say like, oh well, we didn't get effective training, so like it becomes a diplomatic issue when it comes to like.
Yeah, I love when y'all are on there because I'm just like, how many people are gonna throw up?
Oh, so tell me, I have a question for you then.
Okay.
So tell me, what do you guys really think about AE?
What do we think?
Yeah, what do y'all think about AE? Honestly.
What do we think of AE? We think it's a different personality. Like, it's different. Like, y'all are more like, oh my god, like, can I like help? Like, can y'all help me like get this oxygen? And we're just like really laid back. So it's like, why are they just like? I like helping y'all, but it's just like we view y'all. I'm not gonna lie, as like needy.
Okay, that's good to know. That's good to know.
But I mean, y'all need to help people. So yeah. But I think talking to y'all has changed my perspective. Okay. Like people like you, I think changed my perspective.
I'm not gonna lie. You have some AE divas where they just like. Not in a good way, like, oh, you're pretty, you're a diva. Like, you have some like that, just like you're like, bro, like, your regs say everything
y'all
you
are
know.
like animated. But I think mean, what do you think of? What did you think of Loadmasters?
Y'all are really back. So like I can see that. I can understand that y'all are really back. I can see sometimes y'all be like,
Why are they asking?
But I think like sometimes when you have like new nurses and new flyers that aren't that confident, they ask questions. And then our thing too is like we ultimately don't want to break anything. Like our worst fear is like having to tail swap because we're like, bruh, we just configured and loaded all this stuff, and now we gotta take it down. And we got a time. We still got a time. Like So our thing is like, my thing at least. Speak for myself. I think some of the flyers too. Like we don't want to break the aircraft. We don't want to do anything that's gonna harm our equipment, ourselves, or the aircraft. Yeah. So it's like kind of finding that balance. And then sometimes too, it's just like making sure we're not stepping on y'all's toes or like doing anything wrong. Yeah.
But I mean, I like y'all. Like now that I've talked with y'all, I like y'all. And I just love being on the mission because it's sort of like I just step back and I'm just not invisible, but y'all just handle everything. The worlds are different, but I think we're both cool.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I don't think one's cooler than the other because at the end of the day, we have to work together to get the mission done.
That's true. That is so true. I like it. I think I definitely want to come back again and do another interview with you, maybe, or you come to my studio. It'd be cool if we actually got a flight together and we could like bring our equipment, or not the whole light system, but just like some video stuff, like a trainer.